Right, all, so yeah, welcome back to the build. We are now delving into the frustrating world of setting up the timing on the magneto on the engine, getting that spark just at the right point of the cycle. With these B31 engines in the book, it uses a measurement for the piston just below the top dead centre, which is 7/16, which is a decimal. What was it? 435, 437, something like that. 434. Yeah, whatever. I have worked it out. And which is 38 degrees before top dead centre. Or I suppose you could have 11 mil. As you can see, I've got the timing disc on as well, but I am using the distance as the way I'm setting it up. This was just to illustrate the fact. The problem with the timing disc, when the cylinder head's off, when you get to top dead centre, obviously you've got a bit of overlap, a bit of rock, where it stays at top dead centre, which is about 2 degrees either side. So the best way to get an accurate measurement with a timing disc is to have the cylinder head on and use a positive stop tool, so the piston stops further down, and then you can divide the two. There's plenty of videos out there on YouTube about using a positive stop tool. The only problem is you've got to be careful you don't damage the top of the piston with it. You need to use a nice soft aluminium positive stop tool. Anyway, less ramblings, and I've also invested in one of these static timing lights. This one's from the Magneto guys. They're quite expensive for what they are, and that's why I've never bought one. Something like spending all that money on a little black box, but it does make it easier than the cigarette papers, and more accurate. So yeah, if you're thinking of buying one, just take the plunge. They do make this job a lot easier. In fact, I'll probably go and redo the mattress at some point, because I think that is a little retarded at full advance. Right, so what we've done, we've got the lever at full advance. So this is a tight wire advance on this motorcycle. Yeah, so 1 second, let me just get down here and you can have a look. Yeah, you'll have to excuse the mess as well. I do have a habit of, when I come into the garage, I get all the tools I have and throw them on the floor. They're going to end up there anyway. That's always the case. I might as well just let them wander about by themselves. Right, so we've got this switched on, and I'm shooting for the distance to the top here, because obviously the piston is slightly below the barrel, about 58 thou I measured with this end of the caliper. So I've added it all together, and I'm shooting for about 49. What did I write down? 0.494 should give me about 38 degrees before top dead center. And the problem is, obviously, I'm sure most of you guys know, when you take the pinion off its taper on the other side, and then you set this, you then go around and tap the pinion back on its taper. It disturbs this every time. I have lapped the pinion to the taper before I installed it. Again, you're taking into account years and years of wear on both the pinion itself and the taper. So what I was doing was actually dropping the piston a little bit further down, just a tiny bit, and so when I tapped it on, it ended up just about where I wanted it. And of course, the nice thing is, if it is slightly advanced, maybe 1 or 2 degrees, you can always knock it back on the advance and retard lever. So yeah, if I just I'll try and do this with whilst holding the camera on the nut there. So we start tapping him forwards gently. Or am I? A little bit to go yet. Right, we watch that now. Don't make a liar of me. I've switched it on and there we go. So he's on. Now that is showing 35, 36, 37. It's actually a little bit more than that. We shoot these calipers on. If I do this in one take, it'd be amazing. But we just drop him down there. We're at 501 there and thereabouts. That won't really focus, but 0.501, which is a little bit over. Probably more like 39 degrees. But yeah, that'll work for us. And like I say, I've spent all morning messing around with that damn thing. And what tended to happen when I knocked the pinion on, it would retard the ignition down to sort of 32 or something like that. So it's just about right now. You have to excuse the background now. There's some cows in the field, and she's not very happy. Right, thanks for watching, and yeah, go and buy yourself one of these. Makes life a lot easier. Right, I just watched my last video back, and I didn't really explain where I got my 7/16 measurements from. So obviously the piston doesn't sit flush with the barrel. It's recessed slightly. So I used my calipers just to measure that top dead centre. And I used the dial gauge to make sure it was at top dead centre. And that's about 0.058 down. So I've added that 0.58 to 7/16 and come up with 0.494 for 38 degrees before top dead centre, if that makes sense. I think I'm right in that. And this is about, I've got this set at about 503, which is probably more like 39 degrees before top dead centre, give or take. So, but again, got to keep reminding myself this isn't a super bike, is it? So, yep, we're gonna button this up now. I'm happy with that. We're leaving it as it is. I'll just nip round to the opposite the time inside. Again, more tools on the floor, various hammers. So yeah, this pinion gear sits on the taper, and yeah, you've got to tap him back on. And every time I use a socket, and then tap it. But obviously, it's very easy to move the magneto out of its where you've set it. Yeah, I've got my oil pipes on now. I need to get some ferrules for these. They're only supposed to be push on anyway. I have got some clamps, but they look a bit messy. But anyway, I'm digressing. It's supposed to be a magneto timing video. But yeah, we'll leave him at that now. I'm happy. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope that made sense. If I am wrong, or if I have got my theory of setting this up wrong, please tell me and I can go back and reset it. But just to emphasise with the timing disc, that's at top dead centre now. You can feel it. You gently move that 2 degrees one way. That's 1 degree. 3 degrees the other. And like I say, you can move that, and that piston is not moving. Like I say, it's right at its overlap, I guess. Anyway, we use the other method to measure it, and we should be good. Thanks for watching, guys.